In this video, we are going to cover the FEMA camps that went up 8 weeks ago are now abandoned and being dismantled in North Carolina. We're going to discuss what is actually the purpose of not allowing people to put up tiny homes. We're going to cover what's going to happen to people who do not have their mortgages paid off, and we're going to discuss whether or not an 18-month-old baby froze to death recently in North Carolina. Don't turn this video off. Hey everybody, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha. Have some topics that we definitely have to go over, folks. But let me start by saying this. Thanksgiving evening, after everybody left my house, I went to bed, and I guess about 2 or 3 in the morning, I woke up super nauseated and began to regurgitate or vomit for like an hour. And then I started running a super high fever. And right now, this side of my face is swollen. Now, I don't know how I can have an oral health issue, being that I don't actually have teeth, right? So, but I have a big hole back here. I don't know if something stabbed me or what, but my gum is super swollen, and now I have this terrible earache, and I can't touch the side of my face without a shocking going through, like a shock. It's like a nerve pain if I just touch the skin. It's so bad. So I have an appointment for the bottom fitting of the denture tomorrow anyway with my surgeon, who had done some of the cleanup work for my mouth so I could wear dentures to begin with. So I'm going to try to go in super early before that appointment and have them check me, because something is very wrong, you guys. I have not stopped running fever since Thanksgiving evening, and I feel terrible. It's December 1st, and I think it's whatever this is. It's got my whole face infected, and it's like affecting my entire body. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Why you haven't been seeing much of me these last couple of days, because I just haven't felt well. Now, second thing, I saw a video that somebody sent me from this gentleman from up in, I think he's like from Tennessee, but he was reporting from North Carolina. And he said he really feels like the reason, and this makes sense, they're not letting North Carolinians put tiny homes on their property, while they're basically forcing them to RVs and tents, is because of property values. What they're wanting to do is basically a land grab, which we all knew, but everybody was leaning towards, like, you know, it's a lithium grab. And he said maybe so, but the point is you're only going to get so much lithium out of an acre of land, right? And then you basically destroyed the land, and that's it. So the state isn't going to make much money, right? If you're looking at it from the state standpoint, then allowing, basically running people off the property. That's what they're doing. They're basically putting people in such uncomfortable positions and refusing to work with them so that they sell their property and they can get that $1 million view to somebody else with big bucks, who's going to build a $500,000 or $1 million house, which is then going to push up the property values and the taxes on everybody else's land, which is exactly what happened to Maui. It was affordable to live on Maui until sometime around the early 2000s, when all the millionaires started moving there, buying up the land, paying way more money than homes were worth, simply because they wanted it. And then what happened is, when they came back and they reevaluated property taxes, everybody's property taxes went way up, because now your house, even though, you know, your house was worth $80,000 last year, but 2 or 3 houses in your community sold for $2 million, now your house is considered, it's worth, you know, $375,000. So now you're paying taxes on a $375,000 house versus an $80,000 house. And I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, that is what they do, folks. Something else he was talking about, he said that for people to rebuild, what they're going to do is make them raise their houses. Now, That bothered me a lot when I heard that, because that is exactly what they did in Louisiana after the 100-year flood. Okay, the great flood that came through that had never happened before and is never supposed to happen again. A lot of people, to rebuild their homes or to be able to even fix their homes, FEMA forced them to raise their homes above the floodplain of that one flood. So right now, there are areas in Louisiana, when you drive through those areas, though they have never flooded before, and they probably will never flood again, when you drive through those areas, homes, like was on a concrete slab, a home is now raised off the ground 4 foot, 6 foot, some places 12 feet. Because if you didn't agree to raise it, FEMA wouldn't give you any money. Right. So it's like so horrific what they're doing. It was costing, like, I remember people going to the meetings about raising the homes and listening to families say, we don't have $100,000 to raise our 2,000 square foot home. Like, we don't have that kind of money. Of course, FEMA and the Small Business Association steps in with these 2%, 3% loans that sound too good to be true. So now you've got a mortgage and another loan to raise your home just to rebuild, okay? And here's something a lot of people, they always fail to remember. Folks, if you don't have something that's called gap insurance, GAP, gap, and your home burns, floods, whatever, you're going to get back only what your insurance deems you get, okay? That may not be enough to pay your home off. So just listen to me. Say you have $100,000 on your mortgage left to pay, and a flood comes through and wipes your house completely gone, but your insurance policy says you're only going to get $60,000. You're going to be stuck paying your mortgage company back the $40,000 that's left on the mortgage of that home. So you get $0 and debt and still don't have a home. I want you to think about what I just said. That is real. I'm not making it up. I talked to so many people in Maui that were still paying mortgages on their burned homes. They're now having to pay rent to live somewhere else and cover the mortgage of their home, or they would lose their land. Because see, wherever your home is sitting, the land underneath it, you're going to lose the land if you lose the home. That's how mortgages work. Okay, so the word mortgage means death pledge. And I cannot tell you guys enough that if you're going to pay anything off, please get your home paid off. Pay your home off. Because at least if your home is paid off, you have the option whether or not you want to carry insurance. You don't have to, because your home is paid for. It is an option. Because FEMA doesn't help people who have homeowners insurance. They will. I've just never met anybody that had homeowners insurance that also got help from FEMA, ever. Not one time. And I've lived through so many floods, so many hurricanes, seen so many people getting no help from FEMA, but paying like astronomical co-pays to their insurance just to get their roofs fixed. And FEMA wouldn't help them in any way, shape, or form. FEMA will help people who do not have insurance on their home. But if you have insurance, they won't help you. So already, FEMA helps a minute amount of people. I also heard that FEMA is no longer paying for hotel rooms for the flood victims. It's up. It's like a moratorium. It's over. Now, I just want to ask this question because it really bothers me. How can illegal aliens be getting free housing for 2 and 3 years in this country under Biden and Harris, and yet American citizens got 8 weeks of hotel help when they lost their home in a flood. So if FEMA isn't going to pay for their hotels anymore, and they still have a mortgage on their home, and the home is gone, chances are they're going to lose their land now. And the rich are going to come in and sweep it and take it, whether or not they're taking it for lithium or they're taking it to turn that part of North Carolina into a rich man's paradise. Does it even matter what their end game is? The end game is to remove land from American citizens' hands. I think we can all agree on that. Now, I know a lot of people are still super upset about the story about the 18-month-old baby that was claimed to have died, okay? Folks, I truly believe in my heart that this was a scam. Okay, let me tell you why. The gentleman, Ralph, that brought the story, he has a past. I have a past, so I don't care about his past. But from what I understand, he has done this exact type of thing in the past, made up stories to generate interest in something that he's doing to bring in more money. The people that he was working with have renounced him. This is them answering another blogger's question, is the story true? And these are the people that he works with, and they're like, no, I'm sorry, it's not a true story. Everybody keeps trying to send me a video of this person saying they know it's true. That's just people saying they heard that a baby died. When I'm saying there's no proof, there's no EMS, there's no sheriff coming forward. The gentleman, Ralph, said he was going to take this story to Fox News on November 25th, 2024, folks, and that never came to fruition. Why? Think about this. I'm just asking you to think about this. An 18-month-old baby dies, freezes to death in a tent in North Carolina. Tell me one news channel that would not air that. Especially Fox. Unless there is no proof it happened. I'm not saying that babies didn't die, and I'm not saying that babies are not going to die, because people living in tents in North Carolina will end in people dying, period. It's too flipping cold, folks. But we cannot allow these types of stories to do just what it's doing, which is making people angry. And I'm seeing it all over Twitter. I'm seeing it all over YouTube. I'm seeing it all over Facebook. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not true. There's no proof. We don't know who the family is. We don't even know what county it happened in. There's literally nobody coming forward like EMS or the sheriff saying, you know, yes, we're not going to give the information of the family out, but this tragic event happened. Like, there's nothing out there about it. The only place it originated was on Ralph's channel. And people have debunked it. Now, I don't understand why some people are getting so angry with me for bringing you guys truth. Because I'm so happy a baby did not freeze to death. And I would like to think everybody else feels the way that I feel. But that's not how I feel. I feel like people are so angry that this didn't happen. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Actually, people are dying. And this story is taking away from the real things that are happening in North Carolina. It is. So please be careful, when you jump on a story. I'm just telling you guys that because I love you. And I hope that me believing it didn't happen is not such a thorn in your side that you can't live with it. And if you can't, oh well. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just not falling for it. No grieving parents were rushed out of North Carolina under armed protection. I mean, from what? The police? Because if they're going to press charges, they're going to find you regardless of where you are, folks. So the whole thing just sounded so made up to begin with. I'm very thankful that I followed through and dug around and proved that is, it just didn't happen. I can't find any proof that it happened. I can only find a few videos where somebody says somebody told them that it happened. That's how rumors get started. What else was I going to go over with you guys real quick while I had a second? Oh my gosh, this is the biggest thing. Okay, so remember I brought to you guys that FEMA had three separate FEMA camps going up and around Western North Carolina. And I'm talking, they had tornado shelters, they had operating rooms, they had control rooms, they had bathrooms, but it wasn't for people. Remember, it was for FEMA workers. Tell me why all three of those are now empty of any FEMA personnel, and they look like ghost towns. I have a video for you guys. I want you to watch it. There's no talking in this video, so I'm just going to turn down her video because the music will flag my video. But this is the lady that brought to us what was happening in the beginning, okay? She went back to check these three, and now she can drive these three FEMA camps. She can drive all over them now. There's nobody there. So they spent millions upon millions of dollars in man hours to put up three FEMA camps, and then totally started dismantling them within 8 weeks. You guys tell me what the flip is going on. That makes no sense. They could at least open up those FEMA camps for the citizens whose tax dollars they're so worthlessly spending. They could leave those there and move people who are intent into those facilities, and they're not. So it stinks. This is a land grab. We all know that it is. I love you guys. Here's that video. And no, don't worry. Yes, I'm driving. I'm driving 15 miles per hour, following my husband on back roads to bring the machinery home that we used over the weekend. So I'm not on main roads. Don't worry. I have my seatbelt on. I'm going really slow. I'm not holding the phone. So don't worry. But here's that video.